In this video, I'm going to share with you how to make a new habit stick. I have 10 science-backed habit building strategies for success. And if you are new to this channel, big welcome. I'm Amber with Solutions for Simplicity. I am obsessed with all things planning, productivity, purposeful living, basically any way that we can get more done while stressing less. So make sure and subscribe if you are new, but I want to make sure that you also stay tuned to the very end of this video because I have a series of 10 different steps that are each essential and, again, scientifically proven to be part of how we make those new habits successful. And if you're missing one of these steps, chances are that explains the situation we have all found ourselves in the past, where we've set these aspirations, we know what we should do, we have every intention of engaging in that new habit or refraining from what it is we're trying to cut out, and then we fail for one reason or another. So after watching this video, you will have a much better sense not only of why you may have failed in the past, but exactly what to do to make your new habit successful from here on out. All right, the very most important thing whenever we are trying to build a new habit is to make sure and establish why this thing is so important to us. Let's take a good inventory of where we are at in this current moment. How do you feel? How do you want to feel? What is it that might be missing or that you think adding this habit in is going to help you achieve? Some examples would be if, a classic case, right? Say you want to start exercising more. Why is that important? Maybe you really don't feel well at your current weight. Maybe you want to feel better in your clothes. Really dig deep and go to that place where you allow yourself not just to feel the emotions of your present state, but to visualize how much better you will feel if and when, or because we are just ensuring that you're going to stick with this habit, that you get there, right? How will you feel when you have made this change? It's really also helpful to think about who is affected by your current behavior without that habit and who you can help or how you can be of better service to others, how you can be your best self for the people you love when you are engaging in this new habit. If you haven't already, I'm a huge fan of Gretchen Rubin's The 4 Tendencies because she so astutely points out that each of us is motivated by different things. Some of us, and I would put myself in this category, are most motivated by other people, whether that is a form of pressure or accountability or just kind of wanting to please others for better or for worse. Other people are much more self-disciplined. They're likely to uphold their habits or rules, if they decide to. Other people need a really concrete reason for why that thing is important. So highly recommend that you check out Gretchen Rubin's series of books all about habit building and the 4 tendencies. But again, the big point here is to make sure that you know why this habit is important to you before you move on. The more that you can connect your why to the habit you are trying to create, the more successful you will be. Number 2 is that good old KISS acronym. Keep it simple, sweethearts. It is so easy for us to make these grandiose plans and have really big, broad habits that we are trying to go after, but the science shows that we are not going to be successful unless we break them down into very minuscule, easy to manage, bite-sized habits. So if you, again, haven't heard of James Clear, his book Atomic Habits, or BJ Fogg's book Tiny Habits, those are both linked for you in the description, and they are super awesome resources for giving you tons of examples of how to break the larger goals you have down into the specific actionable strategies that will help you get there. I think the most classic example that James Clear gives is that if you are really trying to build a workout regimen into your schedule, don't say, I'm gonna work out all 7 days of the week. Say something super simple like, I am going to take 10 steps every time I put on my workout shoes. So again, this sounds really ridiculous, right? Like, well, yeah, of course I'm gonna walk and I want to do so much more than that. But the reason that breaking our habits down into these really small bite-sized pieces works is because our brain is, this machine that operates based on the neurochemical signals that our body gives it. And so when we successfully complete an action, we get that dopamine hit, that reward that makes us feel good, and that makes us more likely to engage in that action again. It builds this series of neural connections and synapses that make us associate a reward with completing the habit that we are trying to do. There's so much more science to this. Check out those other resources for the nitty-gritty details, but make sure that you are then very specific about a small, manageable habit you are first trying to set out to do. Number 3 is my personal favorite. That is to schedule into your planner when you are going to do the action that you intend to take for your new habit. For instance, if you are looking to, start reading a little bit every day and maybe increase your personal development or professional development or learn a new skill, right? It's really, really important that you set aside designated time where you are going to do that thing. Otherwise, we all know how easy it is to wake up and get distracted or commit ourselves to other activities. We instead need to block out time in our schedule and make sure that we then stick to that plan and repeatedly do the habit that we are trying to establish by giving it a designated time. Building right on top of that, number 4 is to set reminders that cue you to do the habit that you are supposed to be doing. For instance, if your goal is to drink a certain amount of water every day and you're really trying to build a habit that enforces that, then it's really helpful to have automatic reminders that pop up on your phone or your habit tracking app that give you that message so that you will get up, engage in the action, and then you can sit back down and get back to whatever you were doing. Our brains are typically crammed so full of other things, and we are focusing on so many other tasks in front of us that it's not always easy to remember the habits that we thought we were going to do. So if you set reminders, then you won't forget to do them. Number 5 is a game changer. S.J. Scott wrote a 2014 book called Habit Stacking, where he proposes this amazing idea that has again been scientifically shown to help us be successful in building a new habit, where we take some action that we are already doing automatically, something that is already a part of our day, and we tack on the new habit we are trying to establish to that existing behavior. In this way, our brain learns over time to associate doing the old behavior with the new habit behavior that we're trying to engage in. Some really easy examples of this are things like, as you drink your coffee in the morning, you will read a chapter in a personal development book. Or as you get up in the morning, you will immediately put your workout clothes on. Or after you finish your plate at a meal, you will automatically get up and put the dish directly into the dishwasher. These are just some of the many, many examples of habit stacking that are out there, but it is again so helpful because it takes away the stress and the effort that we would have to put on our own selves mentally to remember to do the new thing. We instead just build this automatic connection between two behaviors, one pre-existing and one new, and that ensures the success of our new habit. Number 6 is absolutely critical, and in my opinion, one of the hardest things. It kind of depends on the habit that you are trying to build, but the point is that you need to remove any temptation to engage in the kinds of activities that are opposite the habit you are trying to build, or again, anything that would cause you to do something that's a habit you're trying to break, as well as to replace the old habits that you're trying to break with new kinds of activities and new rewards that will cause you to want to do the new habit instead. Some classic examples of this are things like if you're trying to lose weight, right, or to eat more healthy, then you have to remove all of the old junk food from your pantry and refrigerator. Otherwise, it's just going to be all too easy to succumb to the old temptation. Similarly, if you are trying to build a habit where you are learning a new skill, then it's really important that you give yourself a regular reward for the job well done after you have successfully spent, 20, 30 minutes practicing that new skill. Now, again, each of us feels rewarded by different things. This doesn't have to be a monetary reward, but something that is going to make your brain happy and give you those feel-good chemicals to keep you wanting to come back and engage in that habit again and again. Number 7 is all about having realistic expectations. We naturally gravitate towards seeing the world in black and white, right? And so we want it all, and if we maybe slip or fall off the wagon, then we think everything has gone to waste and we're so likely to give up. So it's really, really important for our brains and our subconscious to know that we have some flexibility built into the habits that we're trying to establish. For instance, whatever it is that you're aiming to do, make sure that you're not assuming or forcing yourself to do that thing every single day. Set some flexibility in there so that you will win, right? You'll pass that goalpost, you'll reach the necessary milestone if you just do a certain number of times, say, per week. For instance, again, instead of saying, I'm gonna walk a mile every single day, say, I'm going to walk a mile 4 days out of the week. And then when you reach those 4 days, you will feel awesome. And of course, you're much likely to do 4 days rather than 7 days because we all know things come up. But if you do more than 4 days, then you will feel like even more of a winner because you exceeded the amount that you were trying to do. So again, just know that life happens, things are going to come up, and the habits that you are trying to establish need to have a way of accounting for that. Now, if you are wondering what the most important element to making a new habit stick is, it would be number 8. That is to ensure and get others involved. It has been scientifically shown that people who express their desire to engage in a new habit with someone else are 65% more likely to stick with it, according to the American Society of Training and Development. Similarly, if you then set up regular accountability appointments where you check in with someone else, you are then 95% more likely to make that habit stick or to reach your goal. So you can see how critical this is. We all need that support system or that little, kick in the pants to get us going, to keep us going, and to make us more likely to stay accountable. So whether this is a buddy that's trying to create the same new habit, whether it's a coach, whether it's a group program, whether it's just a friend or family member that is willing to be that accountability check-in person for you, really think about who can help you and support you as you are trying to make this new habit stick. And just as a side note, if you are looking for that support system, then definitely check out the link in the description to learn more about some of the resources I have to offer. All right, number 9 is to get back up when you fall. We are all going to fall. Any new habit that you are trying to build is going to encounter setbacks. You will inevitably have days where you forget or where, again, things come up and you just didn't do what it is you were intending to do. In those moments, you really have to watch your self-talk. Make sure that you don't berate yourself and give yourself a hard time. Do not think that you are a failure. It is really in those moments where you have missed the mark that it is all the more important to really stay positive and ensure that you are getting back up and continuing on with your plans. Because when we fall off the wagon, right, we essentially have two choices. We can say, okay, I messed up, that was a hard day, or I didn't do what I needed to do, but I'm gonna go and continue on and keep going from here on out, right? That's the ideal and important thing to do. But the negative reaction that we've all fallen into is to throw up our hands and say, well, I messed that up. It's all for nothing now. Might as well just quit and give up. And then of course our habits never stick. So really be aware of how important it is to keep a long-term perspective, right? You're not gonna reach these habits overnight or even in the course of a week or a month. It's gonna take several weeks for these new habits to stick, for them to become automatic behaviors, no matter which of these strategies you are applying. Give yourself that time, stay positive, and make sure and get back up anytime you fall. Number 10 is that it is essential to track your progress. Make sure and have some way that you notate every single time you engage in that habit and that you are able to keep track of your wins. There are so many ways to do this. It doesn't have to be elaborate, but it is then scientifically shown that our brains love to see those streaks where we have all the different days X'd out, and that is then shown to make us want to continue. In other words, we go to incredible psychological lengths to make sure that the streak continues because we feel such discomfort for breaking the chain. Now, there are a variety of ways to track your progress. It can be a formal habit tracking app, or it can be something as simple as jotting things down on paper. I have a handful of videos that teach you how to do just that, so make sure and jump into one of these. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure and subscribe for more weekly videos like this, and I will see you back soon. Have a great day.